What is going on, guys? Today's video, we are on the way to the dealership, but I want to do a video on how I get certain miles per gallon on the Sienna. And this is just my method. I'm not sure if I'm doing it right, but for the most part, I get at least advertised driving. So let us go ahead and get on with the video. I have two cameras rolling, one recording the road and myself, and the other one is actually right in front of the speedometer and the tachometer. Well, not really a tachometer, right? It's the hybrid meter. Charge, eco, and power. So right now the engine is on because I am low depleted of the battery because I've been driving in the city and it was using all the battery. So once we get on the highway, we get a better sense of how much I could conserve and how much I'm running. As of right now, I think I could go ahead and reset. Can I do reset? How do I reset? I actually forgot how to reset the... Alright, so again, we're going to be starting with 15 miles per gallon right here on the highway. We are on one of the parkways right here. For the most part, I drive on the right lane, especially with the girls around, and I drive about speed limit. So what I do actually is I use the pulse and glide method, where you get on the power for a little bit, get up to speed limit. I believe the speed limit on this parkway is about 55 miles per hour. I do a little bit over, and then you see the power band right here. I'm tapping on the power, and then I'm gliding. All right, and then for the most part, I just coast. Gliding means coast, foot off the throttle, and then you can see that I'm still in EV mode right here. So I kind of throttle it till I will apply throttle positioning where the EV stays, and then once it goes away, I'll kind of let go until it comes back. So as of right now, I'm still low on the battery, so I'm gonna go ahead and do some more regenerative braking. So far it's up to 19.9. In terms of my trip right now, I have about a 25 mile trip. So let's see how much I get for that. So 19.8, I'm gonna do another pulse and glide situation here. Get up to speed limit or even more. And then this doesn't count for people merging onto my lane. So I'll do a little bit of braking right here, the regen braking. The harder you brake, the more it goes into the actual, the brakes itself, the discs. Versus when you modulate the regen braking, it will go ahead and charge your battery. So depending on how much pressure you apply to the brake. So right now on the downhill, I usually will let off my foot and just let it coast. But as of right now, let's see how much battery I have. I have about this yay much battery. And on another note as well, I forgot to do this. I'm gonna put my mode into sport mode. Sport mode, I find that it reacts to my throttle positioning more sensitively, so it knows exactly how much throttle I'm inputting and what I really want to do. So as you can see, the engine is working. And then once I come close to a car, and especially if I don't see anyone tailing me, I'll just let it coast. Right now I'm actually doing a light throttle, staying about 50. The EV is still on. I'll get back to the right lane, the slow lane. I'll do a little bit more of a pulse method. You see the power band. I'm at 65-ish, I'm gonna let go and just let it coast. And then once I'm down to about 55, I can still modulate the throttle where the EV stays on. and keep at 50, 55 for quite some time. If you have no one in front of you, then that's definitely the key in this type of driving. As of right now, I have no one in back of me, no one in front of me. I'm doing speed limit about 50-ish, 55, and you're not hindering anyone. Right now, the EV is gone. I let go the throttle and it's back on. All right, and it's slowly going down to 40 with no one behind me. I see a stretch of road. I will go ahead and do another pulse. Pulse meaning another, I would say a gradual, linear throttle positioning or input. Now I see a car in front of me. I'm gonna go ahead and switch lanes. I'll do another pulse, try to overtake. Doing about 70-ish right now. Get back on the slow lane and just let the EV mode stay on. I'm inputting the throttle right now to keep it at 60. At 60 at the speed, the EV is still on, EV mode. And usually when I'm uphill as well, I tend to add throttle as well to maintain my momentum. And then once I'm on the downhill, I basically just let it go. Right now it's back to it's back up to 25.8. And in a way, 25.8 is pretty impressive for a actually more than a 2-ton van, right? So a car is in back of me getting closer, so I'll just go up forward a little bit. Probably because the reason he's probably so close is because he's trying to exit. So we're gonna go ahead and let our foot off the throttle. If the person in front of me is braking, I'll try to pulsate the brakes to kind of re-engage the regen braking and then let off again. 27.4 right now. Modulating the throttle to have EV on, still active. No cars in front of me. Pulse and glide again. So I'm going on like a slight uphill. I will go ahead and add throttle again. But you guys hopefully get the point, or starting to, of what my method is. Again, I am not an expert at this. This is just how I maintain that 35 miles per gallon average trip meter per trip. And I see this very evident when my dad drives versus me back to back. And I see that his method of driving, which is the normal way, pretty much it brings back really poor gas mileage. Brings back about 25-ish, like I am right now. It's at 27. We're on a downhill, so right here I'm gonna go ahead and just coast it. And for the most part, again, if you're in a slow lane, no one's gonna really do anything to you. They're not gonna tail you, especially in your minivan. Actually, from what I noticed, we're on a flat. I'll add more throttle all the way to 70-ish, and then, well, the car in front of me is, and there's a cop, so I'm gonna pulse the brake, regen. The harder I step on the brake, he didn't have to step on the brake that much. The harder I step on the brake, the more it engages the disc brakes. So that was a reset. I had to go ahead and just redo. The more I'm uphill, the more I'm gonna go ahead and apply throttle. And then once I'm on the downhill again, I'm gonna just go ahead and let off the brakes. Right now I'm coasting, foot off the brake. I'm applying a little pressure actually to maintain the EV mode and also maintain this cruising range, or the cruising speed. And again, once I am off the throttle, I'll just let it coast. How much battery do I have right now? I have about almost full bar. So this comes into play when you're stuck in traffic and you're just using your batteries. When you're stuck in bumper to bumper, the batteries do help a lot, especially it doesn't let your engine run while being stuck in traffic. So that's what the hybrid is all about. I see a stretch. I'm gonna go ahead and do pulse and glide again, going uphill. Once I'm at the peak, I'll go let go. Of course, you don't go crazy. If you're going uphill and you don't see anything in the horizon, only the sky, then you have to maintain your safety and make sure that you're not running into anything in your blind spot. So at 60, I am still able to maintain EV mode. 55 right now. I am in sport. 28.8 miles per gallon. So this method basically helps you charge the car or the car battery. And the best stretch of land is actually on a really downward road where you're gaining speed, and that's when you start braking and just doing module braking. It charges your battery real good all the way to the full bar. But the full bar doesn't last. I hardly see the Sienna at full bar. It's a pretty small battery. That is it for today's video. We are ending it at 35.8. Not bad, but definitely could have done better. Alright. Alright guys, so that concludes the end of our drive. Let's see, we are at half bar battery. Ultimate final verdict, we are at 40.2 miles per gallon. I definitely hit more than that, and this is driving normally, a little bit more aggressive than the beginning drive, but you guys get the idea. The whole point of this is to do the pulse and glide method. That's how it works for me. That's my understanding of the pulse and glide, and basically reserve as much energy or battery as possible for when you hit traffic or when you hit the city local streets, and from there you kind of coast around. Make sure that EV button right there is on as best as possible, as long as possible. I use sport because I tend to know how to mimic the throttle a lot more sensitively than the eco or the normal mode. And just for the most part, that is it. So hope this video was helpful. If you guys are interested in doing this, or if you guys have any tips for me if I'm doing it wrong, let me know. All right, so until next time, take care.